Hey guys, welcome to my JKD Academy. My name is Sifu George Nasser. What I'd like to talk to you about today is JKD Roots, which is the Wing Chun system. Wing Chun is a huge part of JKD. A lot of people might argue and still arguing on YouTube and so forth that you can learn Jeet Kune Do without Wing Chun, which is probably true. You can, but to me, it's going to be half JKD. You're not going to understand the whole thing. And I remember, and I read it every day. It's a quote from Sijo Bruce Lee himself that you must understand the root to get all its blossoming. So you have to know the root, and the root to me is the Wing Chun system. That's what he studied, and that's what I like to teach. Not necessarily you got to learn the whole system, but you need to understand where a specific thing came from, specific technique, specific punch, and so forth. Anyone could just go and start learning. You start on the Baijian stance, start throwing punches and kicks. To me, that's kickboxing, strong side forward. But again, it's all up to the practitioner, and to each individual might suit you better, and that's great. But to me, my job is to show you how to become a better Jeet Kune Do practitioner, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's start, and I'm going to show you a few things right now, and what I call is complex motions, which is you do two things simultaneously. And how do you do those two things simultaneously? So a lot of people, they just say, oh, it's easy, but I want you to try it, because honestly, I'm only going to show you two techniques, and I could almost guarantee you're going to have a very hard time with it unless you practice the Wing Chun system. It's going to be really easy, because once you understand the root, then everything will fall in place, and your Jeet Kune Do is going to be 10 times better. Okay? So for example, I'm going to go over a few things in the complex motions. So we're going to do what is called Hun Sao, Jump Sao. So the hands start like here. So you can notice my elbow is in. You can see my hands out like that. But not necessarily going to start like this, but just to show you. So when I turn, the hand flicks forward. So when I flick the hand forward, the other hand stay here, open. So when I flick it, my body is going to turn simultaneously. As I point in my body, I turn and pivot. So this hand turns here and I pivot, right? So now, once I turn, everything moves simultaneously, including my footwork. So I'm going to pivot on my heels as I turn. Okay? So when this hand turns here, I turn. This hand points at my body, and this one pivots. These are complex motions, right? So a lot of people say, what does that have to do with JKD? You're going to notice I'm going to move simultaneously. If I put a stick right through my body, it's going to keep my body straight. So when I move from block and strike, everything moves together. Because in reality, you're not standing in a Baijian stance like this. So when somebody throws a hook, which is I'm going to show later how to apply it against the person. So you're going to go simultaneously. You're going to strike and block. Okay? So what this is teaching you, when I turn, pivot, I'm going to do what it's called Jump Sao, chop. Hun Sao, circling something inside something else. So Hun Sao, circling hand. So when I circle and pivot, I was taught to have 2 fingers pinched and 3 closed. But for now, you could do it any way you want. You could circle in. Some Wing Chun guys do it just circle. I was taught to pivot and point to my dantian, which is my center here, my core. So I go turn, pivot, turn, pivot, turn, pivot. So I want you to try these. Then you go into what is called Moi Quan Sao. You go Tan Sao and Dai Bong Sao. Blowing arm deflection and Tan Sao. Showing here. So when I turn and pivot, turn and pivot, turn and pivot, turn and pivot. Okay, then you go into Hun Jam, Hun Jam, Hun Jam with Choma footwork, which is pivoting. So now watch how we go from this position into the Hun Sao when you step into the punch. So now you're going to see how it's going to fit into your Jeet Kune Do training. We talked before about hand before foot. So when I go Hun Jam, Hun here, I come around with the Baijian with Yat Ji Chun Kun or Chun Kun, okay? So I'm going to go one here, turn, and you can see hand before foot. So it's teaching me my body unity. Everything moves simultaneously, moves together. And you notice, once you understand the root, you get all its blossoming. Everything becomes so easy, and your JKD is going to be much better. And your structure is going to be much better. Because everything now is moving together. Your body, hips, here, you move. So it doesn't necessarily you're going to sit there in a real fight. Nobody does that. But it is going to teach you when you move fast here. Now, not necessarily you're going to move. You could go from Tan Punch, okay? Or Tanda, right? Now, you could go, when you go Hun Jam, you could go Hun Punch, okay? You could go Hun Bu. So now you can mix it up. You could Hun Bu. You could go Hun Fan Sao, or chopping hand. So you can mix it up. It's not necessarily going to do just 2 movements. You're not just going to do this all day, okay? You're going to mix it up. So you could do Hun and Punch, Hun and Punch. You could go Hun here, you could come down with Jam. I'm sorry, Gan Sao. So you could go jam here, you can turn to gang and come back with the chakran here. Okay? So everything is gonna teach you complex motions, your hands moving together. Because I've seen people just go 2, or they're like 2, or they cross the center line. That's fine, but it's not teaching you complex motion and body unity and how your body could move simultaneously. But later it's gonna make it you can go much better. So I'm gonna show you something here. This is called the rattan ring. A lot of people, you'll see it done in the Wing Chun system. I tell people just buy. I bought these. You could buy 2 of them for like $5. Sometimes they come a little bit bigger. This is a little bit small, but I like it. You place your hands inside of it, and it's going to teach you to maintain your center and your block simultaneously, so you can learn it. So you maintain your hand and your elbow in. So now when I get rid of this thing here, now no one says you can't turn and punch, right? So you can turn and punch, turn and punch. So it's teaching you to turn this. Now same exact loik once out here, okay? You could do on the wooden dummy, which is I'll show you some on the wooden dummy. And same thing with the Noi Kwan, when the hand, that's from the wooden dummy as well. So, but you can see this one is a good practice if you don't have a partner to practice it, if you don't want to just do it in mid-air, to do Loik Kwans out here. Okay? So always make sure when the hands are here, I turn my body cross center. Turn cross center here. Turn. So later it doesn't matter. You could from here. So everything now, so you see my body, so when I pivot from this position, I can pivot to here. But it's very, very important to have someone turning your JKD. Otherwise, you're gonna miss the boat. As I said, somebody could just give you a fish, you only have a fish. I like to give you a boat. You could go deep sea fishing. You catch much bigger fish. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, here's some applications that how you can apply it when you do the hunting jumps out. Not necessarily you're gonna go, person throws a punch, you're gonna go like this. What it's gonna teach you, when he throws this, for example, a hook to your face. And if I just block like this, okay, he's gonna collapse your tons out, your palm strike up. So when I go here, he's gonna strike you. So I don't care how good, so let's say here, I do this. Tom is already past my son, so he's gonna hit me already. So what this is teaching you when you do the good jam, so once you turn, you're rotating your body, it's teaching you how to pivot, okay? So how is it gonna improve your JKD? You're gonna see. So when I'm in natural position, he throws, it's teaching me to block here, so I'm gonna stop him from collapsing. See, I don't care, look at the punch, how far away from my body. I'll show you on this side. So when he throws a hook, I stop him here. The hook is here, versus if I don't learn how to do my body unity simultaneously here, I need to learn how to pivot. So if I don't learn how to pivot, I'm gonna eat that hook. I don't care how good you are. So I've seen people when they go to block, they block like this and try to hit, but you already got hit. So the whole idea of this, it's gonna teach you body unity, so it's gonna teach you to rotate on your axis. So when you throw, when I hit, I'm gonna do simultaneous movements, and I'm gonna strike him at the same time. So when it's teaching you here, when you turn and pivot, when you're rotating your body, and it's from the Wing Chun system. So that's why it's very important to understand the root. So what it's teaching you, when I'm here, I pivot here. Now let's say we go into the Baijian stance. I'm already pivoting. When he throws, I pivot here. All I need is a slight pivot, because if I'm in the Baijian stance, the hand comes very slightly versus just doing this. I've seen people just do this. When you do this, you're gonna get hit. Trust me, because he's gonna collapse when you go slow. So when he goes here, and I go here, I already get hit. So this is useless. That's why it's very important to understand the root. So this comes from here. When I'm here like this, I pivot. You pivot in Choma on your heels like a windshield wiper. So when you turn, you pivot. It's teaching you to pivot and simultaneously hit. So when he turns from the Baijian stance, I'm gonna learn. So he comes with the other hand, I'm gonna move him here. So automatically I learn, my body knows when to pivot. Because there's no way you're gonna stop somebody from going here. You're not moving. So that means you don't understand your root. So now, for example, if he throws the punch, I'm here, I'm throwing here. Now if he throws this hand, I go here. So I could circle the hand outward. Because most people are gonna leave the hand up. Not necessarily true, so they might not leave this hand up. So when he throws, let's say he throws this punch, and I stop him here, and I go to do this, he pulls back, I miss it. right? Because I can't now. But what happens if he grabs you and he's trying to pull you? This hand's gonna collapse. Then I'm gonna strike. So the same thing. He grabs on this side. I'm gonna circle the hand out of the way, Hun Sao, and I'm gonna strike him. So I'm gonna circle. When I circle, I Hun Sao. See, I was taught to 2 fingers pinch, 3 close. So when I do my Hun, it's pointing at my Danti, which is my core. So when I pivot and circle here, but it's okay to do it this way as long as you free it. So when he goes to grab, Hun Sao, strike. He goes with that hand, I move pivot. So it's teaching you to rotate simultaneously on your core, okay, versus just staying like this. Not only now when you do the Hun Sao and jump Sao, so when I go, for example, I go 1, 2, 3, watch everything's gonna fall in place. So it's gonna teach you to pivot from this position, turn and come down to the JKD Wing Chun. Okay, so you're gonna go straight punch. So that's why it's very important to understand the root of the Wing Chun system. Okay, so do you have any questions? So everything's pretty good. All right, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. And please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again, Tom. He's always there for me to help me record. Thank you so much.